about 15 years, and this car has had a long, wonderful history. It began as a P3. It was raced by such great names as Surtees, Vaccarella, Bandini, Chris Amon, Bob Bondurant, Jackie Stewart. It campaigned all over the world. It raced the Targa Florio, Le Mans, Spa, the 24 Hours of Daytona, and in February of 1967, Lorenzo Bandini and Chris Amon won the race in this car. This is P340846, and it's coming back after over 40 years, and I think it's happy to be here.
As I said, I think it may be even in better condition than when it raced in period. You mentioned you reeled on some of the races there. I've been doing this car extensively in the last 15 years. Obviously, this car period, particularly on the type of video here around the streets, or some of the circuits that this car would have completed on.
It really is impossible to think about. You know, we're campaigning a new car, P45 Competizione, which is basically a GT2 part, the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. And we were testing last week, and I drove that. And in that, you feel you are so safe and cocooned, and you have a roll cage that can take 70,000 pounds dropped on it, and you'd be okay. This thing, I wouldn't want to be hit by a sport utility, you know, in the parking lot.
How much did you have to do, and how much have you had to continue to do over the last 15 years to keep the car running and be in such smashing condition?
Well, it's a lot of work. You know, this is a mechanically fuel-injected car. Mr. Ferrari got a little more horsepower out of that, and so the customer cars had the carburetors. The carbureted cars are a lot easier to drive and only to use, but this guy, once you learn it, it's great. And Sal Barone, who's my collection manager friend, who's been with me for 30 years and maintains all my cars, he really built this car, you know, inch by inch, going over it, fixing things, keeping it well lubricated, and keeping it functioning. But to me, that's the important thing. I mean, so many people own these classic Ferraris and they never get driven. I mean, to me, you got to use them. And, you know, if you have a bad day, you dig it, you fix it, you go on. That's all.
How easy or difficult is it to keep it as original? Because there's a huge debate, of course, in classic and historic racing about keeping cars original. Where do you stand on that, and how difficult, or as I say, easy, has it been with this particular Move 3-4?
Well, this car is extraordinarily original. It's the mechanical fuel injection. It's exactly really as it raced. You know, you always do safety things. Quite frankly, we replaced all of the hoses and lines with more modern, a little better stuff. We have 40 gallons of gasoline sitting on either side of you, with a little better fuel cell.
Hey, gotta get behind the wall. You're not driving the car behind the wall.
Cross right behind you. So we try to be as safe and as careful as we can. Now, mechanically, I believe, you know, if you want to go modern racing, build a modern race car. I don't frankly understand hot rodding, you know, a piece of history just so it's a little faster in a vintage race. You know, it makes no sense to me.
I'm sure a lot of people will be very envious of you if you take this car out back to the scene and one of its major drives. Thanks for talking to us, and thank you very much on behalf of everybody for bringing this beautiful car along.
Thank you, and you know, I just realized how lucky I am, and frankly what an obligation it is to share these pieces of history with people, and I think it means a lot to people, and it means a lot to me that they get to see it.
I'll see you in another week 24. We've got full coverage of that original this year, so speak with you before then, Jim. Thanks for bringing it. That's the 23, the number 23, the bright red P34 Ferrari. Such a little walk away from that car. I'm going to head up to the